So I want to ask you guys a question, and I want you to be brutally honest with me. But how many of you are a detailer, maybe an enthusiast, but you've applied a ceramic coating to either your vehicle or customers' vehicles, and you're getting frustrated with these durability claims that manufacturers slap on a coating, finding out that no matter what you do to maintain the coating properly, you do everything the way that they recommend. Wash it, every 3 to 4 weeks. You're using ceramic or pH-friendly soaps. You bought all the right wash mitts, drying towels, dedicated toppers. You're doing everything you can imagine to get the most out of this coating, and it still doesn't live up to its claims. What are we supposed to do? I do feel like manufacturers should shift away from a year durability claim to more of a mileage durability claim, and I would love to see that shift. But even with that, there's going to be a lot of variables. You could have a grandma who maybe drives her vehicle 5,000 miles in a year, or you could have a traveling salesperson who puts 1,000 miles on in a month. So obviously a coating is going to not perform as well for a traveling salesperson versus someone who, maybe is just going to the pharmacy and the grocery store here and there. Clearly, there's going to be a drastic difference in how those coatings perform and how long they last. And obviously, we all know where it's stored, how it's maintained or not maintained, what products you're using to maintain it with, or if you're going through the automatic car wash. All those variables are going to be taken into consideration. So when I see all of these coatings out there and a manufacturer says X amount of years, normally what I do is I cut that in half when I'm selling that to my customers. And hopefully we're going to at least live up to that. But even that is becoming very doubtful these days. So when I was talking to Michael Hill and Brian Crosby from CCI, and this isn't a sponsored video, this isn't a paid video. They sent me product to test out, and I'm actually going to be applying their pro grade 6+ year Revolution coating to this customer's vehicle. But when I was speaking to them, I was kind of taking that skepticism into the conversation, and I become very weary when any manufacturer makes a durability claim. And I kind of said that to them, like I highly doubt it's going to live up to that. And they said, well, we do testing a little differently. They actually do what's called an M644 test. They actually do unique weather testing on their coatings versus just kind of a wash test. And they actually stopped testing it at 84 months. It was still going strong. They just stopped at 84 months. And they actually cut their durability claims in half. It actually tested longer than 6 years, but because they want to underpromise and overdeliver, that's why they claim 6+ years for this coating and 2 to 3 and 3 to 5 for their other coatings. To be honest, it was impressive. It took a little bit of that skepticism away and made me a little bit more optimistic. And if these coatings actually perform like what they claim and what I'm hoping they will, I might actually just become a CCI installer. What I want to know, we're going to talk about price. We're going to talk about installation, because clearly I don't want it to be something that is like exhausting. I'm 41. I don't enjoy difficult coatings. So for those of you that have been on the fence and wanting to know more about CCI, I'm going to share with you guys my firsthand experience, what it's like. Now, they also sent me their 12-month ceramic spray, their 2 to 3 year ceramic, and their 3 to 5 year ceramic. I believe that those are actually available at a retail level. So make sure you guys subscribe and follow, because we will be applying those coatings in the very near future. But we're going to kind of hit off right off the bat with their pro grade product to see, is this really going to deliver? I'm also going to be putting this on my Subaru Outback and testing it in the real world. So even if I don't see this customer's vehicle in the future, they do live maybe like 40 minutes away, I'll be putting it on my Subaru and sharing with you guys updates. So stay tuned, subscribe and follow. But let's go ahead and get right into the prep and installation for applying the 6+ year Revolution ceramic coating from CCI. So spring has finally sprung, and with the beauty of flowers and colors finally reappearing, we also have the negative of pollen. This vehicle is a 2025 Ford Explorer, and this is actually for a good family friend of ours. When they brought the vehicle, I could tell that we did have some water spotting issues that hopefully are going to be able to come up during the wash and prep process. But we also have some pretty gnarly pollen, as well as brake dust and film and dirt on the vehicle that we need to safely remove. This is a newer vehicle, and so I'm trying to minimize the amount of paint correction that I'm doing with this package, especially because I'm doing this at a discount. Anytime I'm working with a new coating for the first time, I offer it at a discount. I basically don't charge the customer for the bottle coating, simply for the prep. So I'm trying to keep the prep as minimal as possible. As always, we start off with our tires and wheels. We're using Shine Supply in the Viking Plus Car Care Wheel Brush, and we're gonna get our tires and wheels dialed in, then do our door jams, and then go ahead and do a good foaming pre-soak to get this pollen off. Ton and ton of pollen. Rinse it and foam it. This is the Apex foam cannon from that detail shop, and we are foaming on Koshemi Super Foam, which is a higher pH soap to go after the pollen and any protection that might be on the paint. Holy foam, Gary. Whatever soap we had left in our foam cannon, we just put that into our bucket. So we're washing the vehicle with Super Foam, and then we're gonna go ahead, rinse everything, spray it down with the Fury's iron remover, and then do a quick clay towel treatment on this paint. And then pray to God that we don't have any marring and severe scratches once we rinse and dry the vehicle off. Just because we introduced a clay towel to the paint does not always mean that it is going to severely damage the paint. Oftentimes it comes down to the type of paint, but also the products you're using during the prep process. But thankfully, after we did our wash, chemical decon, clay towel treatment, this paint is in such good condition. Like, I'm literally shook how good it is. We don't even have protection on it. There's maybe minuscule scratches here and there on it, but just for the sake of efficiency and to get our piano trim pieces dialed in, we're gonna do a very quick polish, and I'm excited to test out 2 new polishers. I'm gonna start off at around speed 2 and then bump it up. This last November, I had the opportunity to go to SEMA, and I got to meet the folks at Fine Lab. Fantastic products, fantastic company. I was jealous that a lot of my friends had been able to test this polisher out for themselves. And so when they released it, I was like, oh man, I'm so bummed that I didn't get to put my hands on it. And they were gracious enough to actually send this to me for free. So we're gonna be using this hard in the next few months.
I wanna see how we are on these body lines. Most polishers are going to stall. And you can see we still have rotation with our backing plate. So that is actually really nice. A little bit of slowing down right there. If we do some downward pressure, you can see it's still spinning, even when I push down. Pushing down, still going. So right there, we do have some stalling, but it looks like it's still going. All right, we didn't need to do a lot of paint correction on that, so we're not gonna spend too long. So I wanna see, how does this respond to our body lines? And what does this feel like under the hand? We have a big difference as far as, we've got more of a click with our half clicks. So you can definitely, you don't necessarily have to see it where you're clicking in. And we actually have a half click. So whether you like that or not, just noting it. We're gonna start off at 2, like we did the other one. Bump it up. How are we on a body line? Still powering through, which for a battery powered polisher is actually pretty impressive.
Now this tool with the batteries is $399. However, I already had the batteries, and so I think it was around $220 for the tool only. This is an 18 millimeter throw versus a 15 millimeter with our Fine Lab polisher. So based on batteries and budget, I think this is a great battery powered polisher. I've used the SPTA battery powered polisher for months, and personally I would switch over to this because this has more power and just feels more balanced and less vibration, and also it's not as piercing on the ears.
You can definitely hear it bogging down, but it's not stopping. So either you're looking for a battery powered or a corded version. There's some of the similarities. Both are going to power through, I think, stall lines really nicely. I do have a little bit of tingling in my hand from this one. Didn't notice it quite as much with our Fine Lab, but I'm not going to say that you're going to have zero vibration with any polisher. That's a big issue with paint correction and polishing, but we want reduced vibration if at all possible, and even to safeguard, you can wear vibration gloves. But altogether, very smooth, very comfortable, not heavy, wasn't fighting it. Little differences as far as with our speed settings here. And obviously gonna be a big difference in price point. This definitely feels much heavier. I would say probably at least 4 to 5 pounds heavier. So if you're wanting something a little bit lighter, battery powered, I think this is a fantastic unit. Big improvement from the 25 millimeter from DIY Detail. This is 18 millimeters from Clean, but personally, this is the perfect size for me. I prefer a smaller throw versus a larger throw. But when it comes to corded polishers, this actually feels really, really nice, very well made, very smooth. I mean, from your turning on to turning off, it's just very, very well made, very sleek.
Originally, I wanted to test out Fine Lab's A1000 fine finishing compound just because we did have some minor swirls on it in places, but I was noticing that it was dusting, so we might switch gears. So I don't want to deal with dusting, but just for the sake of consistency, we're going to finish this panel with our Fine Lab polish and then shift over to finishing polish from Avant-Garde. Considering we weren't doing heavy correction, just a finishing polish, I wasn't expecting dusting, and they claim this is a dust-free product.
So you can see we've got some dusting. Not a big fan of that, just being honest. So we're going to share with you guys the difference between this and this. First, before we shift over, I want to show you guys wipe off of this product. Little grabby. Ooh. Comes off, but definitely a little bit more of a grabby experience. I mean, it's definitely no 3D one. It's not a streaky mess. It's just, there's definitely a haze that you gotta kind of push through. But we got that paint pretty much perfected. Whatever defect was here came off very easily. Looks like we got some deeper scratches, maybe from a snow brush. That cleaned up nice. Normally those mar. So we might need something a touch more here. Again, I mean, I could chase it in 2 seconds later, its feelings get hurt. This package includes a paint enhancement. More than anything, I just want to make sure we have no protection and no major issues with the paint. It definitely got some dusting though. So now I'm gonna demo for you guys Avant-Garde finishing polish. I'm gonna do the whole whopping thing just because, again, this paint is like 98% pristine. Alright, that's the only thing I don't like. This lock button keeps unpopping. Maybe I just gotta break it in.
With both Avant-Garde's compound and their finishing polish, they wipe off like 3D speed, which is the easiest polish to remove. We also have no dusting and a really decent work time. We did about 2 passes with their finishing polish. Could have kept going, but we really didn't need to, simply because this paint doesn't require much. More than anything, I just want to clean up our piano trim pieces, make sure the minor swirls that are on the paint are removed, and that we finish down with no marring or no haze.
Alright, so let's compare our wipe off. Like butter, did not mar our piano trim, refined it. White pad, finishing polish did do some correction. And good lord, we have no dusting And it is so easy. I don't have to use a rinseless wash to wipe this off. So that saves me product, time, and also I don't have to deal about moisture in areas that I don't want moisture in before coating a vehicle.
My biggest annoyance with modern day vehicles is that manufacturers are putting piano trim pieces on areas that honestly they have no business putting that type of surface on those areas. They put piano trim on front grills or step-ups or rearview mirrors, even the pillars where you get in and out of the vehicle. You look at piano trim wrong and it scratches. We had some damage from snow brush and just from aggressive washing, so we got all of that dialed in with Optimum Hyper Polish and then finished up the rest of our vehicle with our Avant-Garde finishing polish. It didn't take long for us to polish this paint, maybe about an hour total, so we were able to get everything polished. We're going to use their panel prep wipe from CCI off camera just to make sure we have no polish residue left behind, and then we're ready to go ahead and get our ceramic coating applied.
So just want to make sure we got our residue off. Paint looks right there. Got a little bit. Paint looks really, really good.
Now they sent me this bottle for free to test out. If I wanted to purchase it, it would be around $288, which isn't cheap. If you become authorized with them, you get 20% off of their products, so it'd be around $230 to purchase this coating.
So I'm going to try to provide you guys with two different vantage points, but they do provide two applicators because you should theoretically be able to get two vehicles with one bottle. We have some APC ready for our towels to soak them with, to launder them afterwards. We have our softbox light ready to inspect with. And with this coating, a few things to note. They do recommend shaking it well, and you want to shake it periodically throughout the application, and also you want to apply this thick. Now I don't know how fast our flash time is going to be, but they say that when it sweats it's ready to level. So we are about 60 degrees in the garage, about 63 and lowering percent humidity. So since they say go heavy, all right, we're gonna just first test it here. All right, that does go on. It looks really wet. We got our stream down the middle. I'm gonna go a little beyond because my arm didn't get quite to the middle. So it looks like it is sweating pretty quickly. Okay. So that means we're ready. I got some on my arm. We're gonna get that off because I don't want to be hydrophobic. Okay. All right. So you can clearly see sweating on our panel. Let's come in with our towels. And you can feel it is thicker. I'm just kind of pushing it around. You can see it gives us a little bit of a wet look. Second towel. Easy breezy. Holy crap. Okay, breathe. That's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now, let's get our light out. We're going to inspect it. Make sure we cover that up. And I just want to see what we're dealing with streaks or high spots, if anything. Holy crap, guys. That felt like I was doing Gion Mosiva, which is like the easiest coating. And this is pro grade. 6+ years. Feels too good to be true. So, not a long work time as far as large amount of sections, but if it's that easy, I'm not mad at that. So we're going to work section by section. We're going to keep moving. Yay! Show you guys. It looks like it's drying up on me, and even just the second I take to grab my phone, hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt. So even if we let it sit a little, okay, yep. Man, these animals hate my towels. Even if we let it sit a little long, hopefully we'll inspect with our light. I have a feeling we're gonna have to do like
one row at a time with how quick this coating flashes. So for those of you who like coatings that you can do an entire side and then come back and level, that is not this coating. This is a coating that you are working in very small sections, section by section. So the downfall with a coating like that is that you just need to make sure you don't miss a spot. Even if I'm working on a panel, normally I can coat 2 sections and work panel by panel. You just need to be very thorough with where you stop and start, maybe even overlap. I did notice just now here, you noticed me wiping this. I had missed this little lip and it had actually hazed up on me, almost like there was polish residue. And I was able to remove it with my towel. Mind you, like a minute or 2 after. So we're gonna have to be very meticulous with our softbox light, inspecting every section. But if you do miss it, hopefully we're gonna be able to kind of see that haziness of the coating pretty quick to be able to respond, make sure there's no high spots, no issues.
Now let's talk cure times, because let's face it, for a lot of detailers, time is money, and that's going to make or break whether you choose to go with a coating. It could be super easy, but if it has a 24-hour cure time, forget about it. That's downtime, which means less profit. With this coating, they actually recommend, if you do not top it with their AMP maintenance spray, that it needs to cure for 8 hours safely before it can get wet. But if you use their AMP maintenance ceramic spray, if you actually let the coating sit for 1 hour, top it with their AMP spray, hold it for an additional 30 minutes, it should be safe to be released after an hour and a half. They say that this actually provides a 2-week sacrificial layer. It's not going to interfere with the coating curing, but it's just going to give you that little bit of sacrificial layer should there be water spots or issues, that it's not going to damage the coating and actually help it cure more safely out in the elements. For me, I think it would be more ideal to use the AMP spray. It's not necessarily the cheapest, but a little goes a long way, and this allows you to release the vehicle sooner and to be more profitable. So the pros and cons, I think, for me working with this product, obviously the biggest pro was how easy it was to level. When you're working with a pro-grade coating, that's not usual. Most of the time, they're grabby, they're thick, they're kind of physically exhausting because they have a higher active solids within it. And so that means that there's less transfer solution that you're having to level, and they can just be a little bit more physically involved. That wasn't this product. It honestly felt like a retail grade coating. So it was throwing me for a loop. But the biggest con was that we had a very short flash time. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 seconds. So that just meant that even on intricate areas like our honeycomb grill, I had to break them up into smaller sections, which just meant that I had to work slower. Normally, if you can coat, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you can get a lot coated, but then whatever you coat in that flash time, you have to be able to level in a short period of time. So considering we only had 20 seconds, I had to work in just smaller sections, which meant it actually took longer for me to coat this vehicle. I was hoping to get this done in like an hour, but intricate areas like this, it just slowed me down. On top of having a shorter flash time, I don't have a bottle of AMP in stock here at my shop, so we do have to let the coating sit for 8 hours. So you just have to make sure that you are allocating your time properly. If you want to get it released that day, you've got to work very quickly to give the coating time to cure properly. So we're definitely going to be checking out the AMP spray for the next coating, because for me, I'd much rather have an hour and a half cure time versus 8 hours.
So it took longer than 45 minutes. Duh. It's a gigantic 3-row SUV with a ton of trim and intricate piano trim pieces. You can suck my... Anyways, we got her done. And it looks fantastic. That was so freaking easy. I only had a few areas where I had a high spot, and honestly, it was because I went too thin. The areas where I went heavier, it was a breeze to level. So you don't need it dripping, but you don't want to go thin with this coating. You want to see it wet, you want to see it sweat, and then you level. And 2 towels is all I needed. I did change my towels a few times just because maybe I picked up some dirt from the underbelly, but all in all, everything is done. It is now 11 o'clock. We started at, 9:20-ish? I think 9:20. So it took me about an hour and a half. I took my time, had fun, listened to some music, was not stressful. I didn't have to like race, literally just take it, door panel by door panel. I was able to do an entire door at once. And even if you kind of started to see the sweating drying up and maybe getting a little hazy, still really easy. I wasn't going to push that to its limit and see, oh, if I let it sit on there 2, 3, 4 minutes, is it still going to be hard? Like when they say, see the rainbowing or see the sweating level, just take them for their word. Like, don't be like, how far can I push it? Because you're going to regret it. This was a delight. Now we let it sit. We're going to finish up tires, glass, and then let the customer know once 8 hours is up, it's ready to pick up. So hopefully things will dry off outside. Maybe we'll be able to pull it out and just do a really quick inspection and maybe even see it under the sunlight. We're just putting Yum Dress V2 on. And this smells like fruit punch or cherries or something. It smells like a Jolly Rancher. It's making me hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet. Why does the tire dressing smell so yummy? Alright, so it has a little white. Alright, so does that dry and go away? Good Lord, she's shiny. Look at that glass. Woo!
So we were all done with applying our CCI Revolution. Took a little over an hour and a half for us to coat this entire SUV. Considering that we had to work kind of section by section, it was actually really fun to work with this coating. I didn't mind that it took a little bit longer because it was just so dang easy to work with. If you've ever worked with Gian Mo's Evo, you're gonna love this coating. Honestly, as I was working with it, it felt too good to be true. So now I wanna know, it checks all the marks for me application-wise. We actually had no odor, no issues whatsoever with high spots. Now I want to see, do we have increased slickness as it cures? What do our hydrophobics look like once everything is cured? And then also I want to know, what's our durability going to be like? We will be putting this as well as their other coatings that they sent me, which is the 12-month ceramic spray coating, the 2 to 3 year, and the 3 to 5 year coatings. We will be putting those on my Subaru Outback and testing out in the real world. And I know a lot of you who follow this channel who were intrigued with CCI coatings, maybe this wasn't the coating you were interested in. Maybe it's their other coatings, the 2 to 3 year, 3 to 5 year. Stay tuned. We will be applying those coatings as well to customers' vehicles, sharing with you guys a firsthand experience. What's the application like? What can you expect? So we're gonna be able to compare it to this and also see what those applications are like. Maybe for those of you that you're not a detailing professional, or maybe you're not looking for something like this at this time. Is there a need? Is there a place for a pro-grade authorized installer only coating? I'm curious to know from you guys in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on products like this? Would you rather just a consumer grade coating and something like that for your customers? Personally, for me as someone who has a shop, I've worked with so many over the years. When I have customers asking me, what coating are you working with these days? That says to me, they see me as someone who maybe could be fickle with what I offer. And they're probably not wrong. The fact is, I keep trying coatings, hoping that they're gonna deliver, and then end up shifting to something because maybe I'm disappointed or underwhelmed, or maybe it's too difficult to work with. I am cautious, but optimistic that these coatings could actually be the coatings that I offer at my shop, that I have one brand that I offer for customers moving forward. I'm not gonna stop testing and working with all the other coatings, but I'm specifically looking at CCI to see if this is the coating brand that I offer my customers. So make sure you guys stay tuned to see how that develops. I know for me personally, I've worked with many, from G-Technique to Ethos to Meguiar's to, so many over the years. 35 on my own vehicle, and even 35 that have been on there. 75% of them are failing at under 2 years, not topped. So that says something to me. I feel like there needs to be a shift in the industry with how coatings are kind of cataloged, or the durability claims, and maybe there needs to be a shift and more transparency with how long these coatings are gonna last. We're starting to get these more exaggerated claims of 5+, 7+, 8+, 10+. I'm not seeing one coating last 2 to 3 years. So if this coating can last 3 to 4, I'd actually be impressed. Just being 100% honest with you. So make sure you guys stay tuned because I will be sharing with you guys how these coatings test in the real world long term. But all in all, really enjoyed working with this coating. For those of you that maybe you've had your eye on Revolution, but you were nervous that it was going to be difficult to work with, hopefully this video has given you the confidence to know, okay, yeah, this is a coating I want to get behind. If you want to become authorized, I'm going to put some information in the video description box down below how you can become authorized. I don't even get an affiliate commission with Revolution, but I wanted to share with you guys because I know many of you, like me, were curious about these coatings. We're starting off strong. We're starting off with their pro grade coating. Next up is going to be their 2 to 3 year and 3 to 5, which those are the ones that I'm the most intrigued about, which I'm sure those are the ones you guys are most intrigued about. But all in all, CCI Revolution, if you're a detailing professional looking for a pro grade coating to offer your customers, legitimately one of the easiest coatings that I've ever worked with.
This was this customer's first ceramic coated vehicle. And when I demonstrated for him like this, what the hydrophobics look like, and then also showed him if he's done rinsing and washing his vehicle, he can use a leaf blower to dry it off. The smile on his face and the excitement that he had to maintain his vehicle is really what it's all about. And that's what a good ceramic coating should do. Number one, make me excited as an installer to apply it. And number two, make the customer excited to maintain their vehicle. Obviously, we don't want to wash this for 7 days. And I think for this customer, it was going to be hard because he was so excited to wash it after seeing the hydrophobics. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this closer look at what to expect with this coating. If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next detail.